What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to check out the new Blue Beetle 1/3 scale statue by Prime 1 Studios. This bad boy's up for PO at $1,600 for the DX, which includes a life-size scarab. The regular is $13.99. Of course, I would go for the deluxe. In this situation, I think a life-size scarab is pretty sick. Now, if you have not seen the movie, I highly recommend you go watch it. It is an amazing movie. I was thoroughly entertained throughout the whole movie. This is like the first Mexican-led superhero movie. It has Zolo from Cobra Kai, Miguel. And I'm a big fan of him from Cobra Kai. I've met him in person at what's called FanX. It's like a Comic-Con in Utah. So I got to meet him in person. Small little dude, very nice, cool dude. And I think he's a great actor. So I saw the Blue Beetle movie with the wife. And here's the life-size scarab, which looks fantastic. And then here is the Blue Beetle. Now, this scene is taken directly from the final battle. And it has a Blue Beetle-themed base. This whole base kind of reminds me of the scarab spaceship they fly in the movie, as well as it just obviously has a scarab on it. I'm not sure the scale of that. Kind of almost looks like the life-size. So it's like, if you don't get the life-size scarab, you also get that. Although that kind of resembles the spaceship. But nevertheless, here it is. And for me personally, I think this is the best look of the statue. I thought it was super sick when he drew out this sword. You see it in the trailers if you haven't seen the movie. But he draws out this sword, hand forward, awesome, awesome pose. Really reminds me as well of the old Cinemacat Iron Man. It's like an exact same pose. At least the legs are. So this obviously has a light up feature in the chest, eyes, sort of like those stingers in the back. They kind of remind me of the Iron Spidey suit, how they kind of have those. Also looks like light up right there, right there. Even the fingers and the weapons all have light up. Plethora of switch outs on this bad boy. The DX version just comes with tons. So you get the wings, which he flies with. You have that forward hand, a blaster hand, and a sword hand. This one, you got the sword, another sword. It's like a sword he hold, his sword hand, and another blaster. So this thing is just loaded with swap outs, which is really cool. Yeah, so you're not going to get bored with this statue because you could just change it up almost daily. Now, the one thing I think they missed out on was doing a Hemi portrait, Zolo's portrait. They definitely could have just swap out portrait, had like a Blitzway head. Now, I don't think I'd probably display that portrait personally, but I would have liked to seen it. Maybe I'd display it. 86 centimeters tall with that sword, so it gets quite tall. That's a huge sword. 50 centimeters deep, 78 width. So it becomes quite a big statue when you use that particular switch out. Now, I think I would prefer more of like that one. Although it kind of feels like you'd want the gun forward. So it's probably better that. I still think this is the best pose, though. Like, if I ever got this, that's the pose I would go for. I think that's just sick. And it's much more reasonable. 66 centimeters tall, which is like 26 inches tall, 25 inches wide, 48 deep, like 20 inches deep. So it's, reasonably sized. He's obviously more hunched over action pose, so it's not like a 30-inch tall. Plus, it doesn't have a massive, massive base like the other DC statues usually have. Now, check this out. Look at the texturing in those hands. That is amazing. Now, I don't know if this is a light up feature or if it's just Prime 1 doing effects and Photoshop. I think it's just Photoshop. I don't think it has light up. I think it's just the eyes and the suit. Maybe the weapons, but they did a really good job. This literally looks like it just popped out of the movie. So the black texturing looks incredible. The weapons look amazing. Overall, honestly, there's nothing to complain about outside of the lack of the unmasked portrait. It's the only thing I would change. Yeah, you can see the scarab coming out, which is really cool. Then you have the wings. The wings also look pretty sick. Yeah, the scarab looks awesome. Light up on it. Going up and down his spine, wrapping around him. Super, super cool for sure. So I'm definitely a big fan. I like it quite a bit. Now, there's only one scenario where I get this, if I sell Hulkbuster. Because then I could place this next to Black Adam. You know, we would do basically Blue Beetle, Black Adam, Shazam, all in that lower spot. You know, now here's the thing, like, this is kind of like the beginning of the whole, you know, gun verse, if you want to call it, or whatever. You know, but it's not technically considered part of the Snyderverse, but it sort of was supposed to be, but then they decided not to. So I feel like this does fit still in a Snyderverse setup, you know. So you didn't have any interactions with Snyderverse characters, but they did have references to Man of Steel, at least Superman. So I think it would work for sure, and I would consider it if we sold Hulkbuster. If we don't sell Hulkbuster, I'm not getting it. So if someone wants to buy my Hulkbuster for 4Gs shipped, you know, you're going to help fund this guy. This was shipping. I mean, let's see how much shipping is. Jupiter. Alrighty, for me, $321. So it makes the total $1,920. So basically $2,000. That's really expensive. I mean, Prime 1/3 with shipping are now almost as much as J&D statues. So it's just getting really pricey to collect these 1/3s. You know, like a 1/3 like this 3 years ago would just be $1,000 shipped. So it's nearly doubled in price in like 3 years, which is really discouraging to, you know, continue collecting just because double the price in a few years. It's like, are you kidding me? I remember statues costing $300 when I first started collecting. Now they're $2,000 on average. So it's like, yeah, just getting so pricey. Now, the one nice thing about this is it does have that low ES of 199 on the deluxe bonus. The regular, it says TBA, but I'm sure it's probably only going to be like 100. So there's probably only going to be 300 of these made. You know, so once it's sold out, it'll probably be hard to get. I don't think the movie's going to be super successful just because generally DC has been doing terrible lately. So I don't think the movie's going to do good, even though it's a great movie. You know, like I would give this a solid 9 out of 10 in my book. But I think the movie's not going to do good, and I don't think the statue's going to sell super well. Even though I think the statue is amazing. I think it's one of their better DC, you know, 1/3s. You know, like looking at this, I would say this is probably better than... I mean, it's not better than Darkseid or Steppenwolf, but it's better than the entire Justice League. Maybe better than Aquaman Golden Suit. I don't know if it's better than Ledger 1/3, but it's up there. I would say it's probably like as good as Aquaman. Maybe. You know, the base isn't quite as good, but I think he himself looks as cool with tons of switch outs. But yeah, this is an amazing statue. I'm really impressed, and I would love to own it. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you saw the movie, what you thought of it. I highly recommend go seeing it. It's a great, fun movie. You know, even if there's no additional movies of Blue Beetle, no additional DC movies, it's still just a fun, fantastic movie that's highly enjoyable. Good comedy, good action, good cast, good story. You know, me and my wife really enjoyed it. So let me know what you guys think. Are any of you planning to pick this bad boy up? I'm not going to PO it or anything, but if it gets low stock, I might be tempted. But I wonder if this is this a store exclusive? No. This will probably be available through Sideshow and retailers. So if you guys are looking to purchase this, please use any of the links below, as it does help the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.